Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Good morning, DFW. We've got a jam-packed show today. I'm Jeff Crilley, and we're going to be talking about everything from surviving divorce and making this split as painless as possible, the American dream through the eyes of fresh eyes, and a look at a Dallas suburb you only thought you knew. But we're going to start with the difficulties facing teens today. I'm a parent. My teens are no longer teens. They're into their 20s. But I remember how difficult that was. And joining us right now, Elizabeth Scrivner. She's with Park Cities Counseling. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I know you deal with couples and families and teens, so you deal with people all shapes and sizes and ages. But I think you have a special passion for teens, don't you?
I do. I love working with that age group. I feel like teens and young adults, you can make such a huge impact and really guide them in a direction to help them decide the path they're going to have. So.
And something that's surprising, I think, is recent surveys have shown that 50% of high schoolers complain of being chronically stressed out. Mm-hmm. And I think as adults, we think about teens as, man, they've got it easy. They don't have to worry about the work stress that adults have. But think about all the pressure that is on these teens. Family, some of them have a job. Some of them are being bullied. Let's talk about the difficulties facing teens. What are you observing?
Absolutely. One of the things that you and I talked about before the show today was maybe talking about bullying, because it is something that I see so much in my practice and going on. And I think it starts before and can start at a very young age, but it's so different than it was from when you and I were in school.
Absolutely.
Bullying was going on back then, but the difference is social media.
Yes. You knew who the bully was, and you knew how to avoid him or her on the playground, but it's all-consuming.
And they couldn't contact you. They could not contact, unless they came to your house, but then your parents would be there or whatever. Right. So they can contact you at all hours of the day, different ways, text, email, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And within a second, you can tell everybody what's going on and really make a big impact on one person's life.
What kind of bullying are you seeing? I mean, is it like body shaming, or what are you seeing on the front lines?
I think it's the same as it's always been, which is somebody putting somebody down in some form. So it could be because they're jealous. It could be because they don't like how you look. They're having a bad day. A lot of times a bully isn't having things that are going well in their life right then, and so they put you down.
And they can hide behind fake names, and people are a lot meaner on the internet than they'd ever be face-to-face, aren't they?
Absolutely, they are. And I think one of the things that I wanted to touch on today is what parents can do and what friends can do. I think it is essential in this day and age that we get involved. So many times people say, don't do anything, don't say anything. If you know your neighbor, their child is getting bullied, I believe you have an obligation to try in some form, in a positive way, to get involved. Because too often it just gets bad very quickly. It can lead to suicide, depression, anxiety, low grades, drugs and alcohol, eating disorders, and sometimes you don't know what's going on. And so some of the things that parents could look for in their own child would be grades going down. Mm-hmm. Grades going down is a clue. You need to think, what is going on?
Right.
And try to get to the bottom of it. A lot of times being bullied, the victim feels very ashamed.
Right.
And they are not doing anything wrong. And so I want to help us all be an advocate for them.
How does a parent have this conversation with their teen? And how old is the child when you start having these conversations?
Well, as soon as I would say late elementary, you're teaching them to be kind and nice. Right. Middle school, they start with the social media. And I think it is essential that you have complete access to all of their social media. Of course, they can do different accounts, but be as involved as humanly possible with Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, which means signing up.
Would you ever advise a parent to spy on their child, come up with a fake name and friend their child?
Well, so the great thing is, at a young age, a lot of the kids let's say 10, 11, 12, they will friend. So they'll do it, and then they have so many friends, and so it's okay. You
Right.
you can do it, but absolutely.
Do you find that a teen who's being bullied is ashamed and won't share it with mom and dad?
Yes, yes. And so that can look like the things I was talking about before, depression. They believe they are doing something wrong. And, let's say all of us, this room full of people, we've all made a mistake. We've all made bad choices, but it wasn't put out so quickly everywhere. And so that's a form of bullying. You do something wrong, everybody doesn't need to know about it.
Right. Absolutely. So, how does a parent begin that conversation? I mean, it's just, I know there are studies that families don't even eat together anymore. It's mom, dad, or sometimes they've got a job and they're grabbing something to go, and the child's eating on their own.
Okay, let's talk about. Let's talk about dinner.
Yeah.
I think there's far too much pressure. Okay.
Right.
That is not the only time you can talk to your child.
Right.
So, and I am a proponent, if everybody's working and running in sports, you at a restaurant with your family for 30 minutes, that's dinner.
Yep.
So dinner is also
I like
in a
you.
car.
You're good.
You can eat in your car with your family and still talk. Why do we now? I'm in a household of we're movers and shakers.
Right.
Everybody's going everywhere.
Right.
Why do you have to sit to talk? You can get involved. And you know what? If mom and dad can't make it perfectly happen to be together, okay. So 3 people have dinner. Is that not still dinner?
Right.
So how do you start talking about it? When you start you just can talk about it in general. I like talking about it even if I believe my own children are not being bullied at that point. I expect from them and their friends for them to help others. It's not just about the bully.
Right.
The bully can't really bully if everybody's working together.
So my guest right now, Elizabeth Scrivner, she is a licensed professional counselor. She's with ParkCitiesCounseling.com. So I got divorced when my kids were young. The son was 5, daughter 8, and they go up to Michigan. And I felt like, man, one of us needs to be the all-loving parent so that I can at least get their confidence that they would share stuff with me that they might not share with their mom. Did I play that right, or should I have?
Tell me, did you both? So they were there and you were here?
They were with their
Okay.
mom, and I'm down here,
Okay.
and I'm flying up there 4 or 5 times a year to see them. When we were all together as a family, I was kind of the candy man and just showered
Fine.
them. And so I felt like, well, okay, why don't I just keep being the candy man? It probably wasn't fair to their mom.
I think that gets far too much credit. I mean, at least you're being nice and you're present and you flew up there. So was it fair that she had to raise them alone every day? No, but you being nice didn't hurt that.
Right.
So people always say, oh, you're the Disneyland dad. That's a big, well, good. I mean, at least you're doing something.
You need your own show. I like you.
Okay. And then we could work with the attorneys.
guest.
I'd love that. And we could talk all about divorce. Out there, they were saying there's a billion things we could talk about.
That's off. I'm hoping that we can get you out of your shell, Elizabeth. You're just, nobody really knows where you stand on anything.
I don't like shaming adults when they're trying, and that's a huge thing. And also, I'm imperfect. If the camera that's on me was on me at home, you'd be like, oh, no. No, you did not. Because I'm passionate. I get upset. But I'm saying something.
Yeah.
That's the point. Say something.
Well, one of the things that we're seeing out of this presidential election is this incivility where the candidates are beating up on each other and name-calling and calling each other's wives different names. And I've seen articles where school districts are wrestling with this now on what do we tell our kids when adults are acting like juveniles?
Well, we all do all the time, and kids see it. It's not like when we're like at home, like, yes, sir, thank you so much. I really appreciate you bringing me your laundry.
Right.
They know we act up. They're acting up. So we have a lot going on. I think you could say what you think about. You just talk about it.
Right.
But they're not perfect. The president,
Is there
no one's
a
perfect.
little bit of a hypocrisy going on if the parents are saying, now you can't act mean to somebody else, and then they say, but what about Donald Trump? What did he say to Ted Cruz last night?
Well, I mean, he was mean. But we're not, I don't know if you're setting him up as your role model. I kind of go above a president, but if I'm looking for somebody, I go outside the sports and then outside Taylor Swift, barely though. Barely. Right now, she's pretty good. But, I'm going higher than that and way lower than me. I mean, we got to lower the bar a little bit here. Wow. This is too much pressure. And so you're like, oh, they're so stressed in high school. We were stressed as well. And we're still stressed. And so if we could lower some of the expectations, connect imperfectly with your family in love, that's what you're going for.
Okay. How do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can go to my website, www.parkcitiescounseling.com, or my number is 214-395-5358. And you can get a hold of me.
Wow. Well, this is one of those segments that just went too fast, and I wish we had a whole hour with you. You're just an amazing guest. Well, thank you so much. And since we're already kind of on the subject of divorce, when we come back, we're going to talk about surviving divorce and getting through the process as painlessly as possible. That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
More of The Jeff Crilley Show coming up.